We are in the year of 1972. We've been breaking down 1972 for the last couple of weeks. You go back on our review of Trouble Man, go back on our review of Hammer, and you will hear us talk about the top music from 1972, as well as some of the top films from 1972. Tonight, we are presenting the top 5 Black television shows for the year of 1972.
So that means there were 5 Black television shows on in 72. Interesting.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear this because I can think of maybe 2.
You can probably think of 2, and if you stretch for a second, you'll come up with the third.
I think Good Times and the Jeffersons don't come until after 72.
No.
Okay, well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Starting at number 5.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, I put it on the graphic, so Dylan, correct me if I'm wrong. The number 58th popular show on television for 1972, which means that it was not popular.
Right.
The new Bill Cosby show.
Yeah.
The new Bill Cosby show was an attempt to exploit the widespread popularity of Bill Cosby, coming out of his show Cos, as well as I Spy. Cosby's supporting cast was actually biracial on this sketch variety show. He featured Foster Brooks, also Lola Falana.
Yes.
Who also served as the announcer on the show.
She would introduce it every week.
Ongoing sketches included The Wife of the Week and The Adventures of the Dude, a man who was so impossibly cool that nothing whatever could faze him or cause him in any way to lose his composure or coolness. The show was met with low ratings due to its competition from Monday Night Football and the NBC Monday Night at the Movies, and thus was canceled after 1 season.
How many episodes was there of the new Cosby Show?
I did not look up the number of episodes.
It was a weird show.
Well,
it was a weird show.
I don't remember it at all.
I mean, obviously, I don't remember. I've watched clips of it, and you know, quite honestly, the best part of the episode would be Lola Falana at the beginning introducing it.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I remember there were people on there who were funny, but what they were doing
was not.
Like, if I were so inclined, I'd like to see who was in the writer's room. And I forgot all about Cos. What year is Cos?
Cos is like late 60s, because that's after I Spy.
It's after I Spy, but it's before the Bill Cosby show?
Before this show?
No, you said Cos. Remember the show Cos, C-O-S?
Oh, well, maybe I'm thinking about the Cosby show.
Right, because the Bill Cosby show ran for like 3 years.
Right.
Maybe 2 years, 2 or 3 years. Yeah, Chet Kincaid. Which I quietly quite enjoyed.
The new Cosby show, it did not have a lot. It couldn't have had but so many episodes, because it doesn't even list the number, but it ran from September of 72 to May of 73.
Oh, yeah. So it wasn't even on that long.
And now in the cast, and I think also some of these people doubling as writers, Lola Falana, Foster Brooks, as I mentioned, Pat McCormick, who was a very popular comedy writer at the time, Ronnie Graham, and Ray Jessel. The other 2 names.
Rita Moreno wasn't on that.
George Schlater was the producer. Rita Moreno was not on that show.
I'm thinking about the Electric Company.
You're thinking about something totally complete.
Rita Moreno and young Bill Cosby together.
Yes,
I remember them together. So that must have been the Electric Company.
I mean, he had Quincy Jones did the music.
Dude, again,
just didn't make it.
We've talked about this before. That dead zone between I Spy, and I'm including the Bill Cosby show because it was only on for like 2 years. But between I Spy and the Cosby show, Bill Cosby just kept getting bites of the apple. Like, he just kept getting projects.
Yeah, the Bill Cosby show that you're talking about was before this because that ran from 69 to 71.
Mm-hmm.
So this was coming out of this. This started the same year as Fat Albert. Fat Albert started in 72.
Okay.
So Fat Albert would kind of like keep him on.
I was about to say Fat Albert and stand up.
Yeah, that
I guess we're paying the bills. But
paying the bills.
All right. Okay. All right, cool.
So that was the number 5 series.
All right. I may have guessed that. All right, let's see what else.
Number 4, which I believe ranked at number 48th for the year, but was renewed.
Okay.
From 1972, a sitcom called Temperatures Rising.
I have never heard of this.
I had never heard of it, even though in reading about it, I have a vague recollection of seeing it. It was developed by William Asher, who is more famously known for developing
I'm blanking out.
Batman from 1966.
Okay.
The series featured James Whitmore as the no-nonsense chief of staff of a fictional Washington, D.C. hospital, forced to deal with the outlandish antics of a young intern played by one Cleavon Little.
Okay. I do remember this.
I loosely remember this series.
I see Cleavon Little in Scrubs.
Right.
I do remember this.
And having to deal with like 3 nutty nurses as well. They were all white nurses, though.
I was about to say, how many black people were in this cast?
The Cleavon Little was the one black person, but he was kind of like the co-lead.
Yeah, okay.
After the first season of this series, James Whitmore was replaced by the comedian Paul Lynde.
Oh.
In the lead.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know, right? But Cleavon Little stayed on with the show. However, Cleavon Little played more of a wisecracking guy the first season. The second season, they kind of serioused him up a little bit.
Interesting.
Because he was, and what I've read was that there was a little bit of feedback because there was so little representation.
And Cleavon Little may have said something.
Of black people on television at that time. Like, let's like tighten him up a little bit. And then for the third season, he kind of like plays it in the middle a little bit.
Are you telling me there were 3 seasons
of this show, but the new Bill Cosby show only lasted
how many episodes?
Well, it was 26 episodes in the first season. I think the third season maybe didn't go the full ride. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Because it sounds to me like you're saying there were like 50 episodes of the show.
I think in total there may have been like about maybe 46 episodes.
There are 40.
And technically it was 2 seasons.
Okay.
It was 2 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look around on YouTube for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, what I was thinking of, it was 2 seasons of this. Then there was a third, technically more or less a third season, but it was rebranded.
Did they change the name?
They did. Guess what the new name was?
I don't remember, but I do remember they changed the name of this. What was it?
The New Temperatures Rising Show.
Was it still said a hospital? Or did they change to a diner?
Basically. No, it's still a hospital.
Okay.
Still a hospital. The New Temperatures Rising Show, however, only lasted 13 episodes.
Okay. Oh, only 13 episodes.
Right. So that was technically like the quote unquote third season.
Right. Have there been 13 episodes of House of the Dragon, which has been on for 2 years?
Yes.
We were so spoiled. We were so spoiled.
I know, right?
Have I mentioned the fact that there are 66 episodes of What's Happening Now?
Yes, you have talked about that.
There are only like 72 episodes of Game of Thrones. All 8 seasons, 72 episodes. It's 66 episodes of What's Happening Now.
Number 3. Okay.
All right.
And this one, I think, ranks in the 20s.
Okay. All right.
As far as, so it's a fairly popular show.
All right.
In 1972. And this is the one that I think if you stretched, you would have guessed.
Okay. And what is that?
Room 222.
I did not know it went that long.
I think it's kind of like this is maybe its second season.
Until this exact second, I thought this was a 60s show.
No. Room 222 is a series that I'm about to give you more information on, folks. Is a comedy series that aired from 1969 to 1974.
Oh, yeah. You've taught me something just now.
And since you're big on numbers, for a total of 112 episodes.
I know it was a gang. Well, I told you I have the box set.
Mm-hmm.
I have the box set.
The series or just the first season?
No, the series.
Okay.
But I could have sworn this was a post to Sir with Love television show. Like if you
like immediately after that,
I thought it ran from like 66 to 68.
No, 69. Yeah, I remember. Because I remember watching its first run.
Wow.
Room 222, which was a very popular, very lauded show. That took place. It depicts. Excuse me. It focused on the American history class in Room 222 at the fictional Walt Whitman High School in Los Angeles. It also depicted other events in and outside the school as the home lives of the racially diverse student body and faculty, which included outstanding. It won the Outstanding Emmy Award for Outstanding New Series in 1970. And co-stars Michael Constantine and Karen Valentine won for Outstanding Supporting Actor and Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series, respectively, in 1970. However, the stars of Room 222
just name some people
are Lloyd Haynes.
That's right.
And Denise Nicholas. As the teachers and administrators here at this school. They were never lauded for their performances, never nominated for their performances, but they were definitively the stars of this show. Right. And I remember, now I watched this as a kid. You know, it's like 74. I'm 7 years old. Remember watching this show, knowing that it was funny, but thinking, this is a little serious. This is real. This is some real stuff that I'm watching, man. This was ahead of its time.
Fooling around, one of the kids is doing the smack.
Yeah, man. But it was a good show. It was a excellent television. And one of those shows that I think has gotten lost to time unfairly.
I wrote a little cool on Room 222.
Really?
I respect it. It's a little boring.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, well, you know why?
And Denise Nicholas as a modern teacher in mini skirts was fantastic.
That was enough.
But
Well, I think it's because at that time, 1970, the formula for the quote unquote dramedy was still really being created.
Right. And it was so earnest.
It was.
I think that's part of the reason I thought it was a mid 60s. Like I thought it would have run like right after To Sir with Love and I Have a Dream speech. And then like when Dr. King was assassinated, they just took it off.
Oh.
Like it was just so earnest.
It was very earnest.
And but okay.
It's been a minute since I watched it. So so if you're saying it doesn't hold up, I'll lean on you for that.
Right.
But like I said, I just James Brooks, who's a lauded name in television,
absolutely
one of the creators of that show. Yeah. So he's really getting his feet wet. He would go on. James Brooks, if you don't know, is the creator of Cheers, and also the co-creator, thus, of Frasier, two of the greatest sitcoms of all time, with deep benches. Let's go on to number two. Now, this is one you're going to guess.
Okay.
And this show was, if I believe, number 15, the 15th most popular show of 1972. It ran from 1970 to 1974. The Flip Wilson Show.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
The show starred Flip Wilson. It was a program that was one of the first American television programs starring a black person in the title role to become highly successful with a white audience. Specifically, it was the first successful network variety series starring an African American. During its first 2 seasons, it was in fact the nation's second most watched show, according to Nielsen ratings. The Flip Wilson Show won 2 Emmy Awards out of 18 nominations, both coming in 1971 for Outstanding Variety Series as well as for writing. And not only made Flip Wilson himself already a noted comedian on the Laughing and on stages across America, but it would make a cultural icon out of his character Geraldine that he would dress up as on the show. And I remember watching Flip Wilson religiously at my house. I have found Flip Wilson again on like TV Land and on YouTube, and a lot of his stuff still kind of holds up.
Look, man, this is sort of speaking of shows of their time. Flip Wilson was absolutely a 1972 show. Like my favorite aspect of Flip Wilson continues to be the cross section of guests.
Yeah,
that you would see, like you would look, and it would be like I don't know, like Danny
Kaye.
Like Danny Kaye would be on the same episode with like Sly and the Family Stone. Like it was just like I remember there was an episode with Joe Namath.
Yes.
And not Shirley Caesar, but like an old gospel singer. Like he just had this wonderful. It was Mahalia Jackson. It was like Joe Namath and Mahalia Jackson were on the same episode. And I love these old 70s shows or these old 70s productions. We'll talk about this tonight. Where like the men would have on tuxedos and the women would have on evening dresses, evening gowns. But again, it was like just a random assortment of people because the 70s was this wonderful moment of transition.
Well, that's because that's something that I think people miss about this time is that the variety show was basically you going out to see a show.
Right.
So you were seeing a comedian, you were seeing a singer perform, you were seeing people do like some short plays on set. Sometimes if they didn't have like a singer or a singer or another comedian, you might get a performer. You might get a Las Vegas show. Somebody, just spinning plates,
right?
On there or doing like magic,
right?
So it was, and because of that, they dressed up. They made you feel like this was a formal occasion.
Yeah.
And that's why the host would be dressed up, if not always in a tuxedo, but definitely in a suit. People would be in a gown.
Yeah.
You dress for the occasion. That's why the variety shows would be the last thing to come on in prime time, because everything else was just like the appetizer to the show.
Yeah.
The big show, whether it be Flip Wilson, whether it be the Carol Burnett show,
right. Sonny and Cher,
or Dean Martin.
Yeah.
That's what they were. At a time, Donnie and Marie. I think Donnie and Marie, if I remember correctly, just thinking about all of these 70s variety shows, it's around the time that Donnie and Marie and the Jackson 5 get their variety show. Even the Jacksons, I think, was just a summer thing.
And it was a Jackson's family. Yeah, but right.
And it was a whole family. But I think it was around that time that the variety shows started to maybe quote unquote dress down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because 100%. It became more the quote unquote kids.
They were trying to make it hip.
Right. Yeah. Because Sonny and Cher was a very successful variety show. And they kind of like made it.
Yeah, but even Sonny and Cher, Sonny would have on.
He'd have on the weird.
He would have on but it'd be a tuxedo. It'd be a weird. And then Cher was always wearing Bob Fosse.
Yeah, but
not Bob Fosse. Is that the designer?
It was Bob Fosse.
Yeah, the Bob Fosse stuff.
But there was a point there, maybe because Johnny and Cher ran for a little bit.
Oh yeah,
somewhere around like the second or third.
After Sonny left, it was the Cher show.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot he did leave while the
Sonny,
show was.
That's right. Sonny left,
still
and
on.
then it was the Cher show.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some time where at some point, or maybe it was intermittently while he was doing it. Sometimes he'd have on a suit, but every once in a while he have maybe like a Nehru jacket.
Right.
You know,
true.
Or like kind of like hippie it out a little bit, you know, dress it down.
Right. Bob Mackey is the
Bob
designer,
Mackey.
not Bob Fosse.
Not Bob Fosse.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Mackey.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron Covington, in the chat.
And Aaron, don't leave Aaron.
I didn't. And Aaron Fry. Yeah. My bad. You're chat happy now.
I'm just saying. All right. And who's number one? Well, I know who's number one.
We all know who's number one.
Of course, I know what number one is. What season is this?
This is, in fact, it's. I guess it's second. It's its first season.
And that would, of course, be
the number 2 rated series for 1972.
Right, because All in the Family was number 1.
That's right.
And the second year Sanford and Son was number 1.
Right. So Sanford and Son is the number 1 black TV show.
Oh yeah, and the number 2 overall show.
Number 2 overall. And now it's a little misnumbering here because Sanford and Son actually started in January of 72.
Okay.
So it's number 2 for the year, but it really gets its full season starting at the end of 72 to 73. Right. That's when it really gets its first full season. But yeah, Sanford and Son, for those who do not know, it's about Fred Sanford, a junkyard owner, and his son, Lamont. Lamont. And their misadventures in Norman Lear's show that was based on the British sitcom Steptoe and Son.
Yeah, that's right. You ever seen the episodes Steptoe and Son?
I think I've maybe seen 1 or 2.
It's kind of weird.
It's weird.
Like the ones that because like the first season, a couple of the episodes of Sanford and Son are just remakes.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's weird.
It's not. And I'm a fan of British comedy. Yeah. But that one just didn't. Yeah. It didn't really hit with me. Yeah. But yeah, Sanford and Son, which was a blockbuster of a show, like Vincent said, it would go on to soon become the number 1 show in the country, and it would always kind of like be bouncing back and forth with All in the Family.
Oh yeah.
And rightfully so. No disrespect to All in the Family. Sanford and Son put it on Esther, Grady, Bubba,
Leroy Skillet,
everybody. It was just a phenomenal show, a show that definitely still holds up, as insane as it was. It was not trying to remake comedy by any stretch of the imagination, but Red Fox was and still remains, even in passing, a treasure.
Maybe my favorite show of all time.
Wow.
I think Sanford and Son, I was sitting here thinking. I think Sanford and Son might be my favorite show of all time. I love Sanford and Son so much.
Oh, I know you do.
Yes, you do.
I know you do.
And the first season was solid. But I always, my favorite Sanford and Son factoid, Aunt Esther is not on the first season. So like they have to find their footing, even though it's really solid. But yeah, once you hit that second season,
off and running.
Oh my goodness.
Off and running. Yeah, a great show.
Yeah.
Great show. And those are the top 5 black TV shows of 1972.
All right. It's a good list.